In 1961, an engineer named Humphrey Gilbert first used the term HEPA to describe these high-efficiency filters. HEPA was an acronym for High-Efficiency Particulate Air Filters. Ironically, it wasn't until the early 1960s that Cambridge and other HEPA filter manufacturers stopped using asbestos paper in the filter media. Within a few years, HEPA filters would be one of the chief lines of defense against the very product they were once made from, asbestos. A HEPA vacuum and each subsequent use, it's a good idea to perform a basic safety and systems check. Check to make sure the vacuum head is fixed securely to the tank. Fortress vacuums utilize a stainless steel locking clip to guarantee no accidental opening. Next, attach the hose to the intake port, making sure it's firmly attached. Turn the vacuum on and check the suction. Your HEPA vacuum should have enough suction to pull your hand tightly into the hose. If it does not, it's time for filter maintenance. Typically, your HEPA vacuum will be used in the pickup of hazardous materials like asbestos, lead, or toxic mold. Various state and federal regulations apply to the disturbance or removal of these hazardous materials. Depending on the job, personal protective equipment like filtered respirators, disposable coveralls, boots, gloves, and headgear may be required. Because of the risk of exposure to hazardous materials, it's important when using a HEPA vacuum to observe all state and federal regulations as well as a few common sense rules. Always plug your HEPA vacuum into an approved receptacle. Fortress HEPA vacuums run on 110 volts and draw about 8 amps. Beware of attaching long extension cords between the vacuum and the receptacle or running other power tools on the same circuit. Never dry sweep hazardous materials. Use a HEPA vacuum to minimize the danger of increased exposure. Always handle a HEPA vacuum with care. Never stand on it or drop it from a ladder or scaffold. Always carefully lower it to the ground. Never eat or drink or chew gum when HEPA vacuuming hazardous materials. OSHA regulations forbid the presence of food or drink in contaminated areas. Always inspect your HEPA vacuum suction before each use. Make sure the head is securely clipped to the tank so that no hazardous particulate is released into the work area. For maximum safe vacuuming of hazardous materials, it is recommended that a HEPA vacuum have 3 stages of filtration. On a Fortress HEPA vacuum, the first stage, after the collection tank, is a cloth Dacron filter bag that wraps like a mitten around the HEPA. The Dacron cloth used in this mitten provides 40 to 50% efficiency and collects most of the visible debris. The second stage of filtration is called the impact filter. The impact filter is a small, fibrous filter that protects the main HEPA filter from damage or impact by sharp objects, as well as providing another barricade against larger debris. Fortress has 2 types of impact filter, standard and antimicrobial, for use in restoration and mold cleanup projects. The third stage is the HEPA itself. Fortress HEPA filters are DOP tested and factory certified to be 99.97% efficient down to 0.3 microns. In fact, Fortress vacuums are even more efficient than the minimum requirement. Fortress HEPA filters are Type A HEPA filters containing approximately 18.5 square feet of glass fiber filter media. Gasket material is oil resistant, expanded closed cellular rubber. Separators are corrugated aluminum, 0.038 millimeter thick. For maximum safety and efficiency of your HEPA vacuum, it is essential that each of these stages of filtration be maintained properly. With dozens of HEPA vacuums to choose from today, how do you select the right HEPA vacuum? There are at least 3 considerations in the selection process. Make sure your HEPA vacuum offers true HEPA filtration. Make sure that it is DOP tested and certified to be 99.97% efficient down to particles 0.3 microns in size. The second consideration is performance. When comparing HEPA vacuums, be sure to compare suction and velocity, not just horsepower and amperage. Horsepower and amperage ratings can be misleading. A true HEPA vacuum can cost anywhere from $400 to $3,000, depending on several factors. Fortress HEPA vacuums are value-priced, poly construction, with a 1-year warranty on the motor and 2-year warranty on tank and head components. Our dent-proof, rust-proof poly tanks are rotationally molded and seamless in construction. Intake ports are molded into the tank to minimize the risk of leaks, and casters are threaded into the tank to ensure they won't fall off. All in all, Fortress HEPA vacuums give you the best value in the HEPA vacuum market today. In terms of capacity and quality, you won't find a better value anywhere than a Fortress HEPA vacuum.